Hi Year 7, it's Miss Lowe here. I hope you've all had a lovely week so far and that you've managed to get outside even though it's been so rainy. Today we're going to be looking at the male reproductive system, so can you make sure you've got a pen and paper ready to start, and then we will begin. So to start off with, just like we do every lesson, here is your do now. You've got 5 questions that you need to answer. So question 1, what organ produces the eggs in the female reproductive system? Give you a clue, it begins with an O. Question 2, where does fertilization occur? Again, I'll give you a clue, it begins with an O again, but they're not the same. Question 3, true or false, only boys will get taller during puberty. Question 4, what happens to the tiny bones in our ear when they hear a sound? This takes you back to your sound topic. I'll give you a clue, it's a word beginning with V. And question 5, which is the smallest microorganism out of bacteria, virus, or fungi? So it's taking you back to your last topic. Can you remember? You've got 5 minutes. Pause the video here and have a go. Off you go. Okay, let's go through these then. Can you get a green pen in your hand and be ready to tick or make any corrections that you need to? So number 1, what organ produces the eggs in the female reproductive system? You should have got that it is the ovaries. Okay, or ovary. Question 2, where does fertilization occur? It occurs in the tube, which is called the oviduct. So the tube that connects the ovary and the uterus is where fertilization occurs, and that is called the oviduct. True or false, only girls will get taller during puberty? That is false. Boys and girls will get taller during puberty. Question 4, what happens to the tiny bones in our ears when they hear a sound? They vibrate. Remember, a sound is made by vibrations. In order for us to hear the sound, the tiny bones in our ear have to vibrate and pass on those vibrations to our brain. Question 5, what is the smallest microorganism out of bacteria, virus, or fungi? It is the virus. The virus is the smallest microorganism that we find. Okay, give yourself a quick mark out of 5. Pause the video here if you need to make any corrections, and then move on when you're ready. The last lesson we looked at the female reproductive system, so today we are going to be looking at the male reproductive system. So can you make sure you've got your date and title neatly at the top of your page? Your title today is the male reproductive system. So in today's lesson, these are our learning outcomes. This is what we're going to be looking at. So by the end of the lesson, everyone will know the organs in the male reproductive system. Everyone will understand the functions of the organs in the male reproductive system, and everyone will be able to explain which part of the sperm allows it to move. And our keywords for today are reproductive system, testes, and sperm. Okay, so that is what we are going to be looking at today. First things first, let's do a quick recap from last lesson. You don't have to write anything down. Remember, if you see this symbol here, it just means you think about the answer. So I want you to name these organs and then really stretch yourself. Can you also remember what they do? So can you remember their function? So there were 6 labels there. Can you get them all? Pause the video here. Once you think you've got them all, move on and we'll see if you were right. Okay, let's see if you're right then. So we have the ovary over here. Now the job of the ovary is to produce eggs. Everyone remember that? Okay, so that was the job of the ovary. We then have the oviduct, which is sometimes called the fallopian tube, but we call it the oviduct, and this is where fertilization occurs. If the egg is fertilized, it travels to the uterus, where it will implant and grow into a baby. If it doesn't get fertilized, it will travel down the uterus to the cervix, which is a muscle that holds the baby in place while it grows, and will exit via the vagina, which is where the sperm enters. Okay, remember, for fertilisation to occur, the sperm has to enter through the vagina, go through the cervix, through the uterus, into the oviduct, meet the egg, which comes from the ovary, and be fertilised. Okay, so that's just a quick recap of your female reproductive system, what organs are found there, and what their functions are. Okay, so another quick question to test your knowledge from last lesson. It says when fertilisation takes place, the nucleus of a sperm joins with the nucleus of an egg, so the sperm and egg fuse. In which part of the reproductive system does fertilisation normally take place in humans? Is it the cervix, the ovary, the oviduct, or the uterus? I'm going to give you 5 seconds, you just have to think about the answer, and we're going to go through it. Okay, so hopefully you got that it was the oviduct. The oviduct is where fertilisation occurs. Okay, so let's have a look at fertilisation in a little bit more detail. There's a picture there. Can you remember what 2 cells are needed for fertilisation? One comes from the woman and one comes from the father. So use that picture, just give you 3 seconds. Can you remember? Well, for fertilisation to occur, we need an egg cell, which is this one here, and a sperm cell, which is this one here. Now, there are actually lots and lots and lots of sperm that get released into the woman, but only one will fertilise the egg. But where do these sperm come from? And that's what we're going to look at today, because it is the male reproductive system that produces these sperm and allow them to be released into the female reproductive system where fertilisation can occur. Okay, so the male reproductive system is found down here. And the function, the job of the male reproductive system is to produce sperm cells. Okay, so they produce the sperm cells and then they release them inside a woman. So the job of the male reproductive system is to produce these sperm cells and then release them. This is what your sperm cell looks like in a little bit more detail. So you can see it has a head and it has a tail. Okay, and it's the tail that allows your sperm to swim up the woman's reproductive system to fertilise the egg. Okay, so it's this tail that allows your sperm to swim all the way through the vagina, through the cervix, through the uterus, to the oviduct. It's got a long way to go to fertilise the egg. So here are some quick fire questions for you. Remember, you don't have to write anything down. I'm going to give you 5 seconds per question to think of the answer, and then we're going to go through. So your first question, what is the job of the male reproductive system? You've got 5 seconds. Okay, what is the job of the male reproductive system? You should have got that it produces sperm and releases them. Into the woman. So there's 2 jobs there. It produces sperm and then releases them so that they can then swim all the way up to the egg and fertilise it. Okay, your next question. Which sex cell is produced by men? What is it called? 5 seconds, I'll give you a clue. It begins with an S. What is the name of the male sex cell that is produced by the male reproductive system? Okay, hopefully you got that it is the sperm. Okay, that is the male sex cell that is produced by the men and then is released into the female. Okay, this diagram shows you a sperm cell. Which part of the sperm cell allows it to swim towards the egg? So which part? It's labelled on there if you can find it. 5 seconds. Okay, so hopefully you got that it is the tail. The tail allows the sperm to swim all the way up the female reproductive system to the oviduct. Okay, so this is a diagram that shows you the male reproductive system, front on, which is this one here, and side on. We are going to look at the different organs in the male reproductive system and what they do. So the main organs we are going to look at are the sperm duct, the penis, the testicles, the scrotum, and the glands. Okay, so those are the main organs of the male reproductive system that we are going to look at today. Okay, so now we're going to look at the function, the job of the main organs in the male reproductive system. And we're going to start with the testicles. So the testicles are here. The job of the testicles is to produce the sperm. Okay, so they produce the sperm. The testicles are surrounded by a layer of skin, which is called the scrotum. The job of the scrotum, its function, is to protect the testicles. Now this is really important because if you damage your testicles, you then can't produce sperm and you can't reproduce. Okay, so the scrotum has a very important function. Once the sperm have been produced, they travel along the sperm duct, which connects the testicles to the penis. So the sperm duct allows the sperm to travel from the testicles to the penis. Now the glands, which are connected to the sperm duct, release a fluid which provides the sperm with nutrients that allow them to survive. Okay, so the glands, which are found here, sort of halfway between the testicles and the penis, produce a fluid which contains nutrients to keep the sperm alive. The sperm then travel down to the penis where they are released. So the function of your penis is to carry the sperm out of the body. Okay, so those are the main organs in the male reproductive system and what they do. So the sperm are produced in your testicles. They then travel along the sperm duct where they meet the glands and a fluid is released that contains nutrients to keep them alive. They keep travelling all the way down to the penis where they are released. Okay, so now we're going to have a go at labelling the male reproductive system. So this is a picture of it front on. So we've just looked at it side on. This is a picture now of it front on. Can you think about or say out loud, what is the name of the organ labelled 1? You've got 5 seconds, then we're going to go through. Okay, so you should have got that the organ labelled 1 is the testes or the testicles. And you can see you have 2 testicles. These are found at the bottom there. Next question, give the function, the job of the organ labelled 1. So what do the testicles do? 5 seconds. Okay, so you should have got that the testicles produce sperm. Okay, that is their function. Now I want you to label this organ, so it's pointing to the tube here. Name that organ. Okay, you should have got that that is the sperm duct. What does the sperm duct do? What is its function? Okay, you should have got that it carries sperm from the testicles to the penis. And final one, can you name this one? So it's pointing to the small organ there. Name that organ. 5 seconds. Okay, should have got that those are your glands. And final one, give the function of the glands. What do they do? Okay, should have got that the glands produce nutrients that keep the sperm alive. Okay, so that was just a quick summary. What I want you to do now is get a pen in your hand because you're going to do some writing for me. So I want you to write out the names of the organs, and then next to each name I want you to find and write out the correct function. Okay, so I'm going to give you 8 minutes to write out the name of each organ and then find and write out the correct function for each. We'll do the first one together, and then you're going to do the rest by yourself. So penis. So the first thing I would do would be write penis into my book, and then I've got to find the function of the penis. Is it to protect the testicles? No. Does it produce sperm? No. Does it provide nutrients for the sperm to survive? No. Does it transport the sperm to the penis? No. Does it release the sperm outside the body? Yes. So I would write the penis equals releases the sperm outside the body. Okay, I want you to do that for the rest of them. You've got the sperm duct, the testicles, the scrotum and the glands. 8 minutes. Pause the video here. Off you go. Okay, let's go through these then. So can you get a green pen in your hand and be ready to tick and make any corrections that you need to? So we've already done the penis, so now we're on to the sperm duct. The job, the function of the sperm duct is that it transports sperm from the testicles to the penis. The testicles produce the sperm. The scrotum protects the testicles, and the glands provide nutrients for the sperm to survive. So can you give yourself a mark out of 5? If you need to make any corrections, can you pause the video here and make them so that you have got this correct in your book? Okay, let's have a look at some questions then. So you just have to think about it, you don't have to tell me. You don't have to write it down. You've been given a diagram of a cell, cell A. It wants to know, using the words in the box, what is the name of cell A and where is cell A produced? I'm going to give you 5 seconds. What is the name of that cell and where is it produced? Think about the answer now. Okay, let's go through then. So what is the name of the cell? It is the sperm. Where is cell A produced? In the testes, or the testicles. Okay? Right, you have got a slightly longer quiz on ePraise today because your lesson was slightly shorter. So can you please go on to ePraise and complete the quiz? And then that is you done for today's lesson. Here are your learning objectives. In a green pen, can you please write out which learning objective you think you have achieved in today's lesson? So if you know the organs of the male reproductive system, you can write in green pen that you know the organs in the male reproductive system. If you got all the functions correct, so you got 5 out of 5, you can write in green pen that you understand the functions of the organs in the male reproductive system. And if you know that the tail allows the sperm to move, you can write in your green pen that you are able to explain which part of the sperm allows it to move. Well done today, guys. Don't forget to do the quiz on ePraise, and I will see you all tomorrow.